Hello everyone, welcome to my channel today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the fabulous Advent Town die set, and well, it's going to speak for itself, I think. I'll show you all through the dies, explain which bit does what, and then we'll put one together. I have actually paper pieced some elements of it ahead of time, because obviously you don't want to be sat watching me putting little pieces of paper in forever and a day. So some pieces are already kind of skipped forward a little bit, but you will be able to follow me with no problem at all. So this is going to be on day 4, and this is the fabulous Advent Town die set. So I'm going to flip it over and show you this side first. Okay, so you've all been asking, and Tonic have listened, and here is your Advent box. So here you have a bigger portion of an Advent, and this is one made up that's not been decorated yet. So you have all the doors that open and close as you would a normal Advent box. They're all scored at the sides here, and it makes the 3D dimensional box. And then you can glue another one next to it, another one next to it, and make it as big or as small as you want it to be. Now, as you can see, this is a bigger portion here, and you've got a decorative element here with a little clock. Then you have some windows, so you could have the window in the centre there if you wanted to, instead of this. You have a little Christmas tree here in the window. You have different like shutters on the window, your stained glass windows, a little arched window here, then your 2 pane windows. You've got your door here, and then when we flip it over, you'll see in the smaller one, because we have a slimline one here, this also has decorative elements here, if I can get these off the sheet. So there you have a tree, and there's another different tree with a swag bunting going across, so they can go in there as well. You also have largish numbers. They're not small, but they're not huge. They're just the right size for the box, obviously, but they're easy to read as well. This part here makes the door, and as we'll open it and I'll show you, you have a proper cube section in there, and it'll all make sense. This die here actually makes this. Okay, so you just glue it together and then push the tabs back, so you've got somewhere to glue to and then something to glue on. Okay, so it'll all become apparent, but that's for the door. So that's that die there. We also have this smaller base, and this is for the smaller box. And then you've got this die here, which this would be your base, and it would be your side for this taller box, or this would be your side, sorry, for the taller box, and that would be your base. So that would go at the bottom there. Then we flip it over, and this will be your sides, your base, and your top for that box. So you'll need to cut that out 4 times for this size box. And as you can see there, that's that die there. Okay, so we'll flip that back over. You've got like a wooden panel door there as well. There's another door here, so you've got, I think there's 3 different doors. And then this die and this die go together to create a 3D dimensional tree, and I'll show you how that works. That's the box on its own. Then you've got decorative elements to decorate your tree. Then you've also got here your Christmas lights, you've got a little star, and obviously you cut 2 of these out and back them together like this little star here, and then that will stick out the top of the tree. So you have a star, you have that star there, you've got an angel. That's why they've got the little bit sticking out the bottom there to feed in the top of the tree. You've then got a bow, you've got a Christmas wreath, you've also got this oval die that you can put your numbers onto and put that onto the window if you wish. And then you have this die, by the way, makes the smaller cubes for the other doors. And then we have this die here, which is absolutely brilliant. It really does set the box off. And these are for the sides of the building. And then these little dies here cut these pieces out, and they would go down the front portion of the building there. And then you can infill those if you wish with your other cardstock, so it would look paper pieced. And we do quite a bit of paper piecing, but it does finish a project off. And as you can see, there's lots of different designs there for the tree. So I think I've covered everything there. I don't think I've missed anything out. Oh, I did want to tell you, if you wanted to join 3 of these together side by side, which you don't have to, and I've got photographs to show you that you can have coordinating houses and they don't have to be glued together. But if you wanted, say, this one in the middle with the door, but you thought, oh, I wanted the 2 houses next to it, well, I don't really need another door. I've got 1 door, because it becomes 1 advent, 1 house. Then you can actually create with all doors. Okay, and I'll explain now how I've done that. So you have on the smaller house, smaller building, whatever you want to call it, 4. So what you would do is work out your spacing so you've got an equal-ish each side, and you would cut the 4. Once you'd cut your 4, move it over and rest that back in where you've already cut 2. Tape it down well so it doesn't move once it's in the machine. Die cut again. And then you're going to move this up, place it over where you've already cut 2 previously. Again, tape it down so it doesn't move. And then you're going to repeat that process when you come to those top 2 there. So then you've got all doors and no door. Because I was having a little chat when I was given this to do the packaging, and I said to Karen, I said, do you know what? I said, I absolutely love this box. I said, but I would like it just with these smaller cubes. I said, not necessarily a door. And she said, oh yeah. Anyway, not long after, phone rang. It was Karen, and she said, Vicky. I said, yes. She said, you can make it with just the square windows if you don't want a door. And I went, how on earth do you do that? She says, so you can thank Karen for this. She's the one that said how you was to do this. So for me, that was a game changer, because it makes it even more versatile for me, having all those square doors. Don't necessarily want a front door in every building, especially if I was joining them together. 1 door would be sufficient, and then the rest, the 2 at each side, can just be the cubes. But it's up to you. You can mess around and you can play with it, but at least you know you can do that if you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to one side, because that needs decorating at another time. And we'll put this die set to one side. I can't actually show you the packaging because obviously I've done the packaging, so I haven't got one that's already printed out for you to see. So we'll put this to one side. Right, so what we're going to do first, let's sort all our bits and pieces out, because we've got a lot of pieces cut here. So I'll stick these to one side. There we go. And we'll concentrate just on this base. Now I cut one of these out for the front, and then I've actually cut two for the back, just because when I look from the front view of the box, I'll bring this one back, you have a smooth finish, don't you? You're also from the front view going to see the front part of this card, so I don't want to see the rough. It's not rough, but you know, you can see that that's the back of the card. So I want to be able to see a nice embossed line around the edge there. Okay, so I'm going to back them so that I have a beautiful finish to the back and the front. You're not going to see the back of this side because you're looking at that side. If that makes sense. So that's why I've cut two out for the back. So as I said before, you're going to need 4 pieces of this, and you'll notice that this has just one glue tab on one side and not one on the other, so you need to think about this when you're putting it together. So if I place this one with the glue tab at the top, it means the one that's going to go across the top doesn't need the glue tab to this side, it goes to that side. This side then has a glue tab, so the next side needs no glue tab at the top, just at the side and at the bottom. And then when you come to put the one at the bottom, you want to flip that so the glue tab is on the plain side and not where the glue tab is on this side. Okay, so I'm going to put the glue tabs side bottom now, and you'll see why these go on now. Apologies if I do wibble a little bit and catch the phone. I have actually got it on charge at the moment. It just seemed to want to stay charged for very long. So we're going to lay this down here. I think many of you have been itching for this, haven't you? You've asked Tonic for quite some time if we can have a proper advent box, and well, here it is. And I absolutely love it. I think it's brilliant, and it's never going to go out of date or fashion because of what it is. I'll tell you what it reminds me of with the clock. Back to the Future, you know, when the clock and the lightning struck the clock. That's what that reminds me of. I've no idea why that is, but there we go. So there we go. And I've watched that film a fair few times. I think we all have. So glue down this side. I do apologise when I just wander off in conversation about something that isn't even craft related. So I just line that up. There we go. Make sure it's all level. Just take your time. I mean, I'm not going super fast, but I'm not going super slow. So you will take more time than myself. And I don't want this to turn into a super long video, because the video that I shared with you today took over 9 hours to upload to YouTube for some bizarre reason. I have no idea why, because I've got good fibre. So I've had a good clear out of the old phone today and removed old videos and multiple things that weren't needed, and give it an old clear out and reboot, and I'm hoping for the best, because yeah, it was a bit touch and go whether I get my post actually posted this morning in time for you guys. So I don't want that tomorrow. So let me just make sure that is right. Yep. No, that's why I said double check it, because we've got no glue tab here, so we want the glue tab on this side. And you really need to get this bit done before you actually stick the cubes in. So just take your time here. Make sure you're all even Stevens there. So you're only gluing it to this part here, not the whole thing. Okay. And it looks a bit odd at the moment, but all will become clear. So there we go. So we'll flip in that way. So I've just done these not in the same colour. I've done them in a different colour, so that when you open the door, the cube's white inside, so you've got a little bit of a different colour when you open the door. So this is the smallest cube there, and you'll just have your score lines there, and just fold and crease those. And then we're going to glue this end piece here, and just hold that till it's grabbed. I think you'll know from watching me this week, I use wet glue. Always use wet glue, well, for most things, virtually everything actually. Memory books, like I said, I will use wet glue and red liner together. Even foam pads, I'll put a little bit of glue on the foam pad. It gives you a bit of wiggle room, wiggle time, and it also gives the foam pad a bit more longevity with the glue. So these tabs, you want to bring them back. But the thing is, if you take your time with the glue in the first place, you know that when that person has received what you've spent maybe many hours or even days on, that it's not going to fall apart. Right, so now you have said cube. So what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive on the bottom of all these cubes. Excuse me. And we're using the deluxe adhesive, and I'm just using the fine glue applicator. And then, excuse if I do get my head in, but then we're going to place this over each cube, and I am going to get my head in just to make sure I'm in the right place. And then I'm just going to hold that with my fingers just for a few seconds to check it's in the right place, and then we'll move on to the next one until we've got all of these stuck in place. I can't actually believe that we'll be on day 4 tomorrow. It's going so fast. All the months and months and months of work, and it's day 4. And everyone from designers to the girls in the office to the DT, marketing, everybody has worked extremely hard for the birthday week. All the girls that do videos, tutorials, step-by-steps, blog posts, have worked extremely hard, and all the projects have been absolutely stunning. So I want to give all my chums a clap and a hands, a high five. We work as a team, we're all friends, we look out for one another, we check up on each other. If somebody's been quiet for a few days or we haven't heard from them for a while, maybe it's because they have been working or they've been busy, because we've all got family and lives outside of craft, but we check up on each other and make sure they're okay. And we are a second family. We support each other. If anybody is stuck with something, we help each other. And that's what it's all about. We're all extremely lucky to do what we do. And I think every single one of us knows how lucky we are to do what we do. But the most rewarding thing is seeing what you guys do once we've done things like this, and then you go off and you go and make what you want to make. Then when you start to share it on the group and we start to see all your projects being made and shared within a week or two of an event like this, that's when we get excited. We love to see what you make. We love to see that, not even that if it's something that we've done, but maybe you've seen something that one of the DT have done and then gone, oh, I could do that, but they didn't do that, I could do that instead. You know, that's what it's all about. It's fun. It is so much fun. And we've got Ali, we've got Karen, we've got Leo, we've got Jodie. If we're stuck with anything, they're at the end of the phone. There we go. We're getting there now. Just have to be a little bit patient and let that glue go. But you'll see when you, I mean, I can't see very well because I don't want to get my head in too much, but you'll look down and you'll see. You've probably got a bird's eye view better than I have, actually. So then we're going to put this one on for the door, which is a longer one. And put the adhesive on there. And then I'm going to get my head in again, apologies. And you can slide your bone folder on its edge in there, and it just makes life so much easier. There we go. So that is all your tubes that are going to go behind your doors in place. So then it just remains for us to bring these tabs up. Now you see why they're glued on first, because if you went to glue those on now, you'd be wrestling with this. So I'm going to put adhesive on this edge here, and then I'm going to bring that up and get my finger in there to press down. And again, just let it, the glue grab, and then we'll move on to the next section. So again, that section in. Looks quite a complicated box at first, but it really isn't. So clever. But like I said, you've been asking for this for a long time, and we've made advents with other boxes and drawers, and they're lovely as well. But one that's actually been designed to be an advent in particular, and it's more your traditional shape, isn't it, really, of an advent. You can get all your little chocolates and treats in there. So now you've got to find just the right size treats to go in there. I was actually in B&M today, in the sweetie section looking for something, but I couldn't find anything that had like a wrapper on it, because I didn't want it to go all sticky in here. I wanted something that was in a wrapper, and I couldn't find anything. My eye didn't spot anything, so I will have to have another look. So now that you have this, I am going to glue these two back to back, so I've got a nice finish on both sides. So again, be a bit quicker if I use my other glue pot, wouldn't it? Larger pieces. There we go. I'll make sure that's the rough side. So we've got the nice finished off side on both sides, and it also gives the box a little bit more sturdiness, I should say, on the back. So that would just go like that. So what we need to do now is place adhesive on all of these, and it doesn't matter that you're doing, that's not going to go off in that time, the glue. It will actually just go a little bit more tackier, which will be easier to use then. But make sure you cover those, because you want those to be well and truly stuck down, so none of your sweeties disappear. There we go. If you want to use tape on these areas, then you can. Just bear in mind they will dry out a bit. Or you could put tape, red liner tape, and then a little bit of wet glue, if that's your preferred choice. We're all different and we all work different ways, and I'm not dissing any which way you like to work, but this is just the way I like to work. Can't believe I've only got one more project after this to share with you. Although I do have quite a long list of videos that I have been asked to do for you guys. So they're all written down in order, and they will get done once my next lot of prep is done, which is sat here waiting for me to start. So then what we want to do is just line that up, make sure we're all even Stevens, and then just keep rubbing that down until you know it's grabbed. So we just press that there, make sure that's lined up, and press that one there. I'm going to squish it all different ways till I know the grabbers. The glue has grabbed, I should say. So the grabber's grabbed. The glue has grabbed. Does take a minute or two to, especially as you're covering such a large area there. once that is stuck, we can carry on with the decoration. Like I say, some bits I have paper pieced already because obviously I'm conscious of time. Not just time in the tutorial, but time in loading a video. The longer the video, the longer it takes to load on. So that one is slightly squiffy. When you do yours, just make sure you do put your head right over and check that they're all level, because that one is slightly out, ever so slightly. But I'm not going to split hairs about it. It's glued. We'll move on. So you have those panel dies I was saying with the windows, and all I've done here is cut the base out in white, and then I've cut the detail out in that beautiful mirror card, and it's the petal pink, and that's 250 GSM, and you get that in 5 sheets in a pack, and it's the iridescent mirror card. So that's what we've cut that out of in the detail, and then we've infilled with a satin mirror card, also 250 GSM, but it's a soft amethyst. So that's what we've used for this box, and it's just your basic white craft, classic Craft Perfect there. So when you hear us say CP, that means Craft Perfect. So that's what we're talking about when you hear us saying CP. We forget there are newbie crafters and they don't know what we're talking about. It's like we're talking in code sometimes, and we forget. We have new crafters all the time and they have no idea what our CP means, but that's what it means. So then we're going to place this even Stevens down the side, and when you start to see it getting decorated in these pieces, it starts to come to life. I'll just make sure that is stuck down there. I love paper piecing. I think it makes a project pop. But I can't help but giggle and laugh when I say paper piecing, and I think of the live Karen did paper piecing. Oh gosh, she had me in stitches. I don't think I've left so much. It was absolutely hilarious. Oh, but she was so enjoying herself. Oh, God love her. So, I'm going to put this other panel on now. And put that down there. I think Karen might actually be showing you how to put this together tomorrow. So I'm running behind with everything this week. I really am. Which is very unlike me. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm ahead of myself. Weeks and weeks, but not at the moment. I did the project for packaging months ago, but I've just not had the time to sit and make the tutorials. I really haven't. Karen's had the whip out and she's been putting me into shape. So this is going to be the front of the box, okay? So I have infilled with that lovely satin, and then we've got the little fingers here for the clock. So I'm just going to put adhesive on the back of my hand just to pick that up, because I don't want lots on because we're going on mirror here. And I think we'll just go bang in the middle and then press that into place just for a few seconds, because we're actually gluing on a mirror card here, so you do have to hold it a little bit longer than what you would normally. And at this point, this can go on foam pads or it can go on flat, and I think at this point I might actually put it on foam pads. So I'm going to find me some foam pads, and I'm going to put some foam pads on the back. So let's cut one one of these down. Cut that in half. Well, I don't know what the weather's like for you guys where you are in your part of the country, but oh, it's so unpredictable here at the moment. It's hot and clammy, but it's raining, it's pouring. I should go into song there. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. He went to bed and broke his head and couldn't get up in the morning. Gosh. I'm going back to my childhood now, flipping it. Right, and we move on. But yeah, the weather's absolutely terrible here at the moment. I bought a new hedge cutter to cut my front hedge weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Just not had the time when it was absolutely beautiful weather, and now it's pouring it down. So God knows when I'll get to it. So there, that looks nice when it's built up on the foam pads. So this one that we've just added the window detail in, that is going to go behind, because obviously when you're looking through you can see the back. The back's just going to have a plain layer here, so I want to put that in there. So I'm going to glue that flat. There we go. And I'll just hold that till I've... No, it's grabbed. So when you look through, as you'll be looking at it, you'll be able to see that at the back. So I did have another layer here before, but I don't know what I did with it. Oh, where have you put it, Victoria? No, don't know where it is. Well, I'm going to put a white layer there anyway at some point, but we'll move on. So we've got the little windows and the door. Let me check I've got everything here. That is going to be the tree, so we want that piece as well. So we've got these little windows, so actually they're going there, and the arches are going at the top. So you've got two little different styles there, and that one's going there, that one's going there, and the door's going there. And we're going to glue this one together. So I'm just going to put the adhesive on the back of my hand again and pick up this piece here. It's a lovely mirror card, this. I've not used this much before, this colour, this petal pink. And it's the iridescent mirror card. I've not used this much at all, but it is beautiful. I love how it all changes colour. Perfect for Christmassy things. So let me just press that in there. It's not grabbed fully at the sides there. There we go. So let's have a little tidy as we go. Anybody that knows me knows I am a clean and tidy crafter. There's not many of us about, but I can't stand mess, clutter or anything else. Everywhere has to be just so. So you could add these on foam pads if you wish. What am I going to do? Flat or foam pad? I might actually add foam pads, you know, just to be different. So yeah, I think we will. Right. There we go. That one. Just gives it a little bit of dimension there. And one on there. You could add glue onto the back of that foam pad, but because we're just cracking on, we'll leave that for now. But when you, like I said before, when you make yours, you will take more time so that you get yours even, because like I said, that would drive me potty. And it's just because I've not put my head over to look, because obviously you don't want to be looking at the top of my head. But obviously if I was making that by myself, I'd be looking down there and double checking. So you'll take more time than me just to get that right. If I'd done it in the lilac cardstock, you would never have noticed it. It's only because I decided to do the inner part white that you can see that. Foam pad there. I have actually highlighted, I don't know if it's going to show up on camera actually, but I've used the alcohol pen aqua spray, which is 360 in the collection, and I've just gone into the glass just to make it look a little bit like it was glass, but it probably can't see it on the camera. It's just a very, very, very faint bluey mint. And then we have the door, so we'll put a foam pad on the door. There we go. One there, and a thinner one down there. Yeah, must be one of the very, very rare neat freak crafters. If I am prepping, I have to have a clear down of the desk every second card before I'll move on to the next, because clutter drives me mad. So at this, well, maybe even before we got to this point, there's a little tiny die in the set that is, and let me find it. I'll look at myself if I haven't thought of showing it to you. There, tiny little die, and it's brick. So you could have cut some of those out and added them sporadically onto the front to look like little pieces of brick on the building. And on the photographs of the packaging, you'll see that. But for this one, I'm just going to keep it like quite classic and clean. So I'm going to add adhesive to my hand, and I'm going to add the adhesive to the back of these little strips. There we go. And then we're going to place these down the sides like so. Again, you could have added these when it was flat, and you could have added your paper piece in to those before. Again, I'm just going to add the other one onto the other side. There we go. And then we're going to add that. I mean, don't forget you can get all your pattern papers out, all your Christmassy papers, and you can go to town on these. This tutorial is just your basic construction, so you know how they go together, and then it's up to you then to take it to the next step and spend a lot more time. So you can paper piece these the same as the side there if you wished, but we're going to put this to one side, and I'm going to show you how to make the Christmas tree box. So got a matching tree here, and I've cut 2 of these out, 6 of the trees, and I've folded them back where the crease line is. I've also cut 6 of the debossed star design in that gorgeous satin again, and the satin was this soft amethyst, so we've used that. And then we did the little double-sided star in that gorgeous petal pink iridescent mirror card. And then you're going to need 6 of these. Okay, so you can join these bit by bit by bit until you've made a ring, or you can wrap that on there and then glue the side pieces, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So adhesive is going to go on the bottom, and I'm going to use the table to press against like we've done before. Make life easier for yourself. And we move on to the next section. It's up to you how you want to do it. This is, you'll find your own way. This is just to give you an idea. But this is how I've put it together. Bearing in mind, you know, I've not got instructions, so the instructions could show you a completely different way of putting this together. So again, just hold that till you know it's grabbed. And move on to the next one. I am expecting this to actually fly off the shelf tomorrow, this box, because people have been asking for it for, well, I'd say a few years now, on and off. People have asked for a proper advent box. I don't think this one is going to hang around. I think this is going to be the one where it's grab it now, guys, because it's limited. And I've no idea if there's going to be another run of it or not. And I would never want to say to you, run, grab it now. And it isn't, but I have a funny feeling that this is going to fly. So, I'm going to put some adhesive now on the side pieces and bring that up and hold it then. Okay. So we're making like a little skirt for the tree. We'll move on to the next section. I'm going to put glue on the next section, make it going tacky then. And then bring that in. It's funny because when we read all the comments on the group and you're all guessing at what it could be, that's funny and that's exciting. You're saying what you're hoping it's going to be, what it could be. And then you're just excited to see the samples. And do you know what? The DTR as well. They're so excited to see what everybody else has made. Because although we talk to one another, we support one another, we don't tend to share our own projects with each other because you want to stick to your style. You don't want to copy somebody else. And that never happens. We always do our own thing. You know, you could stick us in a room in a white room with white walls and give us a craft pack each, and not one single item would be the same. They would all be different. But then we're itching to see what everybody's made. So you can see there you've made like a little tree skirt. Okay, so we're going to step that to one side. No, we're not. We're going to put the base on. Apologies, we're going to put the base on. Because you know, Vicky doesn't like to see glue tabs. So we'll put that on the bottom. Neaten him off. There we go. That's much neater, isn't it? So we'll leave that now to one side by pressing down a bit. There we go. So now you're left with your tree parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick one to the other, to the other. So again, take your time. There is no rush. Line that one up. There we go. We wandered. And make sure this first part is glued together well, and then we can move on to the next part. We don't want anything moving. So again, just going to keep repeating until we've gone all the way around. You know, go round with your bone folder as well. Make sure that you've got all crisp lines there. So make sure you're even from both sides. That's it. There we go. Want a really nice, neat finish. There we go. The next section. There we go. I'm itching to know if you was to pick, let's just say you decided that everything this week was on your wish list and you were lucky enough to purchase it, which one would you play with first? Which one were you absolutely itching to rip out of the packet and play with first? Would it be a memory book? Would it be the house? Would it be the star? Or would it be this advent? Or would it be what's coming on Friday? Yeah, you thought I was going to let the cat out the bag then, didn't you? No, lips are sealed, more than my life's worth. Just to say though, what a fabulous, fabulous die set it is. If I'd had more time, I would have made a couple more things that are kind of have made before with something else, but this box kind of makes a similar thing as well. I can't say any more just yet because yeah, lips are sealed, but you'll soon find out. But the something I made it with has been discontinued now, so if anybody wanted to make it, they couldn't make it with that die set if they didn't have it. So yeah, so now we've got glue on this side, and what we want to do is pinch these tops in, and what I'm going to do is add glue to the stalk of the star. I'm going to put quite a bit on it, and I am going to put that in the top there, and then pinch, and then I'm going to carry on gluing this side down. So just take your time till you've got it all even. You can actually put this in with, I think on the packaging I put this in with hot glue actually at the end, because that will take a while to dry with it being mirror card. But yeah, you can just put that in with hot glue at the end if you wanted to. So now we're going to add these panels to the tree. We'll lay one down in the centre of each panel. And that one there. Be careful if you put too much glue, rub it off with a soft cloth like a microfiber cloth, and then it won't leave a mark on your mirror card, because there's nothing worse than leaving glue on mirror card. There we go. I love this debossed little star design. But there's a die cut there that's got tiny little like berries, so you could actually go in with your Nouveau drops on the panels before you actually glue them to the box and leave them to dry, and then you've got like little baubles or berries on your tree. I mean, a whole row of these would look absolutely amazing, wouldn't they? And somebody was saying about the house being a ticket office. Could you imagine you making a little village? You could make a little village with these. You could have like a train track running across the back with a train going past, the Polar Express. You'd really make a good Christmas scene up, couldn't you? I remember making a whole street line up with the Tudor house years ago when we had that. That was great fun. Loved that. I like kind of model building, like this, and I would have liked to have got some thick mount board and maybe done some sort of a Christmas scene, but I haven't got the time at this moment. So as you can see, there is your tree with the sides all adhered, and I'm just going to press those just to make sure they are glued. And then your tree slides over the base like so, and that is your little 3D Christmas box that goes alongside. And I will actually add this star with some hot glue for a better finish. But you can imagine your little street with a little tree and some of these lined up, either a little one and two big ones, or whatever you wanted to do, whatever combination you wanted. You've got the gorgeous paper piece sides there, but you can also ink these, colour these with alcohol pens. It's up to you what colours you want to do. The back has just been left, but you could actually, if you drew inside the die on that shaped die with a pencil and cut out freehand, then you've got somewhere to write on the back if you wanted to. But your little doors then open for a gift inside, and there's the door for your door for your door. But yeah, so just remember what I said before about you take your time and get that one lined, or get them lined up all proper, because obviously I've rushed it with doing the video there, and it wouldn't have mattered if I had done the inside in this colour. You would never have noticed that, but that would annoy me. So you will take more time than me, more care. And a good tip is to maybe put that end, if you're doing it in memory card like I have, to actually glue that tip in with some hot glue, and it'll stay in place. So that's your little gift box, which is you can put a little chocolate or something in there, and that's your advent. So what remains for me to say is thank you again for joining me. I hope this just gives you a rough idea of putting it together. You'll have lots of other ladies will show you what they've made, maybe in a little bit more detail. I'm just pushed for time at the moment, because like I said, I've already done these samples months ago, but obviously I didn't do any content, so I'm trying to catch my tail a little bit. But I have a list of tutorials that people want, and I will do them when time is permitting, which hopefully that won't be too far away. But I just want to say thanks ever so much for joining me, and thank you so much for clicking the subscribe button. I've had quite a few followers this week, and it does make the world of difference. It makes the channel grow, and it enables me to bring more content to you. And I just want to say thank you very much for all the feedback and the lovely comments. It's been ever so kind. And for the people that have actually clicked my affiliate links as well, it all does help. It helps get craft supplies to do the videos, etc. So I just want to say thank you. It really means the world, and it's really appreciated. So with that said, I shall see you all probably on Facebook tomorrow and on YouTube, and then I will be joining you again on Friday with something quite special. So anyway, take care guys, and thanks for joining me. Bye for now.